We here? Yeah, yeah. I'm right back at you like I never left, and I'm gonna go this hard to my last breath. It's Lil Kenny Russell, Kanoom Consul Moon. You already know what you're gonna get when you step in this room. You're now dealing with Kanoom. Yeah, yeah, I'm here. And while I'm here, I'm gonna make the information direct and clear because a lot of y'all can't hear it. Yeah, yeah. Now, welcome back to Make My Ancestors Great Again. This is another episode of My Thoughts. It's My Thoughts 222. Um, and as the title states, we're gonna talk about Easter. Okay. Let's let the ancestors talk. Um, let them speak, and we'll get straight to it.
There's one thing you have to get through your mind and keep it. Nothing that ever came from the European mind was meant to do anything but facilitate European domination of the world. And I said there's no exception.
All right. That was the ancestors. I want to raise another toast to them. And that's not no libation, beer, none of that type of stuff. 90% of the time, what I drink is tea. Um, if not, I'm drinking water. Nothing other than that. I don't drink wine. I'm not a Hebrew. I'm an African. Okay. Now, Africans drink all those things. I just choose not to. What I want to show you here, you can find it on the History Channel. That's their content. I'm just going to share it. This is a fair use. I'm going to give my scrutiny. I'm going to give my opinions, my thoughts. Okay. So if you feel like you want to do something for me, like and subscribe because it won't cost you a fee. What do people know about Easter? Excuse me. It's Resurrection Sunday. The story goes that a dead white man on a cross named Jesus the Christ, he died, and then 3 days later he rose again. Why did he die? God, which is Jesus too, but he's the incorporeal version, which is his father, I guess, the ghost, the spirit, whatever you want to call it, took himself out of the sky, well, a part of himself, just like I'm begotten from my father. I was always with my father in his DNA. When he released his DNA in terms of sperm cells into my mother, I was created, but I was always with my father. This is the same thing. Begotten doesn't have no type of holy or extra potent type of divinity on it. Everybody that's before you has been begotten from somewhere. So begotten just means you came from your father. That's all it means. Okay. So Jesus and all this type of stuff, it's nothing special about it. But anyway, a dead white man on the cross, after Adam sinned, put sin in the world and created death and sin, another dead white man on the cross. Well, Adam was never on the cross. He had to come out of the sky and save the world from sin and die a brutal death. That's what you have today, Resurrection Sunday. I'm going to show you all that stuff is false and it's a fallacy. Okay, let's look at it.
Easter, the holiest day of the Christian calendar, a celebration of Jesus Christ's resurrection from the dead.
Easter, the holiest day of the Christian calendar. That's peculiar because the word Pascal means Passover. What Jesus was coming to observe. Him and his disciples came to celebrate Passover. Passover is when the Hebrews came out of Egypt. Okay, let's continue.
So what does this miracle have to do with a bunny delivering painted eggs? The answer lies in 100 generations of rituals and customs.
What does a bunny have to do with Easter? He asked. This is the History Channel. Now they being coy. He's playing dumb, then he give you more dumb answers, if you will. No disrespect, but that's what it is. He's playing coy, like he doesn't know, and then he give you just a bit of information. Okay, so I'm gonna put some information there as well, and I have some clips at the end I'll show you so you can look at and you can screenshot or you can go look this up. Also, he said that comes from 100 generations of customs and ceremonies. If you look up generations, a generation is a 25-year period. So 100 generations will be 2,500 years. If anybody right now can show me anything discussing Jesus the Christ, a dead white man on the cross, from the year 2500 in BC, I'll never record another video. I'm saying in human history, not Bible, not biblical Torah, not the Tanakh, not the Talmud, no religious literature. Show me a man named Jesus the Christ being discussed 2,500 years ago. That would have to be around 500 to 600 BC. A resurrected dead man discussing the name Jesus the Christ. So that's a lie. Let's continue.
According to the Gospels of the New Testament, Jesus Christ and his apostles entered Jerusalem to observe Passover.
According to the New Testament of the Holy Bible, this is the only place you can find any literature pertaining to the name Jesus the Christ and these so-called 12 disciples, other white men. And as you look there, they all dead white men on the cross. Well, Jesus is a dead white man on the cross, but if you look there, it's just the depiction of all dead white men, okay? So they came to practice Passover or observe it. Let's listen.
The Jewish holy season that celebrates the Hebrews' release from slavery. After the Passover supper, Jesus was arrested.
After the Passover supper, Jesus was arrested. Supper is at night, huh? So Friday night, this Jesus the Christ was arrested and crucified. Friday night, because they already ate supper. Okay, let's continue. Remember that.
And on what is now called Good Friday, he was crucified.
On Good Friday, he was crucified. So we can understand that this stuff is supposedly historical by way of the Bible. This is all biblical we're discussing. None of this is historical, but I want to discuss this anyhow. See, because our people is not free, African people. We're not free. Our minds is tied to this stuff. You hear me? So he died Friday night.
2 days later, he rose from the dead.
Excuse me? How many days? Because in the Bible, it says Jesus got jealous of a story that Jonas had. Jonas was so-called swallowed in a whale, and he went down for 3 days and 3 nights. So Jesus in Matthew, I'm going to show you that. He said, just as Jonas was in the belly of the beast, I'm going to be in hell or the earth. I'm going to die for 3 days and 3 nights as well. This man just stated on History Channel, Jesus died Friday night, and 2 days later on Sunday, he woke up. So from right here, we can stop this. See, that disrupts and that shows you that the story is non-existent, even by the way the Bible out here dispelling these lies. Well, not dispelling, out here pushing this propaganda, which is a lie. Because if the prophecy is not even correct, that Jesus said in Matthew, I'll be dead for 3 days and I'll wake up. He woke up in 2 days. But if you're a real thinking man, Friday night to Sunday morning is nothing but about a day and a half. See, he was dead a full day Saturday and then he woke up Sunday. You hear me? Let's continue. The prophecies of the Bible is even incorrect. So that negates the story. This never happened. If the biblical stories don't even calculate to the correct time and story, the story never happened. They just write shit down and we believe it. Oh, Jesus woke up this day. Oh, my Lord. Oh, Lord. You hear me? This is foolishness. Let's continue.
Those of Jewish origin were the first to celebrate the resurrection, likely as a new facet of the Passover festival. In fact, the Easter celebration was called Pascha. It's derived from the word Pesach, the Jewish translation for Passover.
Easter was called Pesach, the Jewish translation for Passover. So the very first people that celebrated the resurrection celebrated Pascha, a Jewish term called Passover. Yet resurrection and Passover has been entrenched and tied in one. Now you celebrate the resurrection. What happened to Passover?
Originally, Easter was celebrated 2 days after Passover, so it fell on any day of the week. But Easter Wednesday just didn't feel right. In 325 AD, Roman Emperor Constantine and the Council of Nicaea ruled that Easter must fall only on a Sunday.
This is a lie. In 325 AD, at the ecumenical council called the Council of Nicaea, they didn't discuss Easter. The term Easter wasn't around in the 4th century. The term Easter derives from a goddess that first mentioned in the 8th century in literature, Esther. I'm going to show you that as well. So in 325 AD, they never discussed that Easter have to stay on Sunday. So this is a flat out lie set up and pushed to you by the History Channel. And it's a damn shame because, like I say, they play coy and they continue to keep you in that same coyness. Dumb. It's another word for acting dumb. Giving you, asking you questions, being silly because you don't know it, and then put silly answers in place that's not historical. They did not discuss or mention Easter in 325 AD at the Council of Nicaea. Look it up.
The day when Christ rose. Easter Sunday would be the first Sunday to follow the full moon after the spring equinox.
This is astrology for you astronomers out there, or astrologists. People have been practicing this for thousands of years before Jesus to Christ, the term had even come about. If you go and look up some people called the Dogon tribe, that's my African ancestors. Those are the Africans. They still live today. They trace and mark the whole Milky Way in the universe and all this type of stuff. They were seeing a linear star called Sirius B, Sirius A, and all this type of stuff before Europeans was able to see it with their telescopes. They knew about it. You can look up a book. I think it's called Sirius B, or Sirius, the Sirius star. It has Akhenaten on the front. Another one of our ancestors. You can read that. It's about the Dogon tribe. Okay. So the equinox, the spring equinox, is very important in the story because people who knows about astrology knows that Jesus the Christ is the Son of God, S-U-N. And as you see them sitting there at the Last Supper, they divided in three. It's 4 people divided in, 3 people divided in a group of 4. That's 3 months in each season. It's 4 seasons in a year. That makes 12 months. And then Jesus is sitting in the middle at the Last Supper as the Son. You see, that's all it is. So the spring equinox or equinox, the first full moon comes on Sunday. So that's saying that the Son, S-U-N, of God, not S-O-N, Jesus the Christ. This is what they put in his place. He's back full. It's a full moon. I mean, he's back fully resurrected. That's all it is by terms of astronomy or astrology. Okay, let's continue.
It could occur anywhere between March 22nd and April 25th. Around this same time, Christians began one of the first recorded rituals of the modern Easter celebration, the lighting of the Paschal candle, its flame a reminder of Christ's resurrection, light out of darkness. As Christianity spread throughout Europe, different pagan customs blended into the holidays. In fact, the actual word Easter may have come from Estra, the goddess of spring and fertility.
It's no may have about it. Again, this is him continuously being coy. Some people say it may have came from Esther, a spring fertility god. That's what it is. I'm going to show you that. Let's continue. You hear me?
Which brings us to the Easter egg. Eggs have been a mythological symbol of birth for thousands of years. Christians adopted the egg as an Easter custom sometime around the 13th century. The yolk in
the 13th century AD. That's a lie. It wasn't even any Bibles out being handed and things like that. It wasn't even Bibles out there yet in the 13th century. So how did they start adopting the Easter egg and all that type of stuff when the stories wasn't even available in mass? The first Bible wasn't printed for the Europeans until the 15th century. Yes. Yes. Okay. Let's continue.
Inside a shell represented Christ's emergence from the tomb. Eggs were painted red to represent the blood Christ shed on the cross. The colorful Easter egg soon hatched its own traditions. A popular one was egg rolling. In 1876, Congress prohibited kids from playing on the Capitol grounds. So, President Rutherford B. Hayes opened the White House lawn to the little rollers. After that, the White House Easter egg roll became a tradition. So when did that Easter bunny hop into the scene? The fertile rabbit had long been a symbol of new life in European pagan celebrations.
European pagan celebrations. Did you hear that, African people? Everything you've heard thus far has been nurtured, created, carried on, and transmitted through the world by European people. Nothing here, like the Hebrews wants you to understand that this story is all about you. Nothing he said as of yet has been African of nature, even by way of history. Because if this was done in the civilization of Mali, he would have said it. He wouldn't have no excuse but to say it was created in Mali. If this was created by the civilization of the Dogon, he would have had to say that historically. If this was done by the Zulu people, he would have had to say that. So regardless to what the Hebrew Israelites, the black Hebrew Israelites is saying that this is all African in nature and things of that, this is all European based and European dominated and European distributed for European domination of the world. That's why I always play the ancestors before I speak. Let's continue.
Beginning around the 16th century, parents told children that if they behaved, on the eve of Easter, the Osterhaus would come and lay colorful eggs.
Osterhaus, so more European mythology. 16th century, that's the 1500s. This is another lie because I'm sure that they didn't do this in no 15 and 1600s. The European people was just getting their thing back together. So they wasn't thinking about hiding and hunting no eggs at that time. Let's continue.
Children built nests in their homes to entice the rabbit to visit. And so began the customs of the Easter egg hunt and the Easter basket. To help fill out those baskets, 19th century European chocolatiers began
to help fill out those baskets. 19th century. I'm sorry, I think he said, let's go back a little bit. 20th century European chocolatiers created the Easter bunny.
To help fill out those baskets, 19th century European chocolatiers began.
So that's the 1800s. In 1800 and something, a European chocolatier said, you know what, for the Easter baskets, I'm going to make all this stuff chocolate. And now billions of dollars is spent every year to facilitate this European lie. Let's continue.
Began making egg-shaped chocolates. The sweet trend quickly spread throughout the world. Today, billions of dollars are spent each year on Easter candy. Easter. It's a joyful day when Christians celebrate the resurrection. For 2,000 years, customs have been added, some spiritual and some fun. But Easter is also the time for families to gather and welcome spring, when new life emerges after the dead of winter.
Okay, so as you've seen, he gave you a lot of information for the basis of the fundamental creation of the so-called historical holiday now that everybody follow. It was called Pesach, and all that type of stuff after the so-called Passover with the Hebrews coming out of Egypt. That's Pesach, or Pesach, okay? Then it turned into Pascal, which means resurrection. See, this is all European of origin, and this is all religious. Let me show you some of the, I just put these together so you can look at them if you're interested in them. This is what I was talking about. This is Matthew 12. What is that? 40. Matthew 12:40. For as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. So that was a lie, because as you heard in the presentation from the History Channel, it said Jesus woke up 2 days later. See, and I've said if you want to calculate things properly, it was a day and a half. He only died for 1 day. They killed him Friday night after supper, the Passover meal. They killed him after that. He was dead Saturday and he woke up Sunday morning. So this right here makes all that we understood to be a lie. Okay, let's continue. You can screenshot that. This right here is showing you the equinox. You can look at it and you can screenshot it or wherever, or you can look this up. This is why Easter has to fall on certain days, because the full moon comes and they say, okay, this is the resurrection. They're talking about the sun. And I think I got one more clip on here, right here. This is Esther. This is the deity, the fertility god. And it says right there, you get the name Easter from this lady. So you can go read these screenshots and things like that, or you can look this up for yourself, African people. I just wanted to show you, oh, right here. This is another one too. You put this in and you'll see it, Easter. Okay. So these screenshots, you can look and you can do your own analysis and research about some of the things I was talking about here. And don't continue to be left in the dark because the European distributes information for you to continue to be stuck in nonsense and foolishness. That's my thoughts on the video. It's Lil Kenny Russell, Kanoon, Consul Moon. You already know what you're going to get when you step in this room. You're now dealing with Kanoon. This is what I do, and I love to do it. And before I take back what I said, I add some more to it. The European is very cunning. All religion is man-made. So to get from up under religion, you have to have knowledge. This isn't to take religion from you. This is to restore what was taken from you at the time religion was given to you. Like spirituality, like, share, subscribe, comment, and I thank you for watching. If you feel like you want to do something for me, like and subscribe, because it won't cost you a fee. Education and preparation is the first step to retaliation. So before you pick up a weapon or a silly religion, pick up some knowledge. And if anybody was offended by anything you heard, I meant every word. Yeah.